I've taught astronomy to Boy Scouts for most of my adult life and know the summer stars in particular like the back of my hand. And I've sought out, I've lived in the Mojave Desert for 8 years, and I would go away from the lights there, even as meager as they might be, to lay on top of a car and just swim, in the universe. So I've always loved the night sky and the stars. And so on my very first shuttle flight, both of my shuttle flights, we took some time. I convinced my crew to turn off all the light in the cockpit, let our eyes dark adapt, and just sit there perched in the windows. All of us were in different windows, and you could see, the Milky Way is just stunning. Of course, the lights don't flicker. They're steady because they're not coming through the dust and coming through the atmosphere. As you really adjust, you start to sense the very subtle colors that are in the stars. A little bit of reddish, a little bit of bluish, blue-white. And that was, really neat for me to see. The space shuttle was incredibly busy, though, and you don't get much time to look out the windows. It was having the downtime. So you work really hard. The Monday through Friday was a blur. Working late, you're living at work. There's always more to do. And then weekends, it slows down some. There's some work. You work out, have a video conference with the family. But you do have some time for some projects and for looking out the windows. And I really got into low-light photography in particular. The cupola was fairly new. We had some fairly new cameras, the D3 that was good at capturing low-light imagery. I was up there during the last space shuttle mission. So STS-135, Atlantis was docked to the space station. And I grabbed Sandy Magnus, a good friend of mine, and she was on that crew. And she had lived on the space station a few years before, but the cupola was new since she was there. All they had was single windows that looked straight down, and there you're just watching the Earth go by at 5 miles a second. You haven't looked out the cupola yet. Come on, come with me. I've got so much to do. No, Sandy, you have got to see this. So we went in there, cranked the shutters open, and we were flying into this astonishing aurora. Aurora Australis, the Southern Lights. This rippling, pulsing river of green that's down below us, and the red that is stretching up to our altitude. It's like, it was just breathtaking. And I had not practiced any low-light photography up to that point, but I knew right then that I had to figure out how to capture this, and so I started working on that. I called the photography experts on the ground and said, okay, what are the settings I used to get started with this? And part of it was experimental. I had to get close and then start trying. I got some pictures actually of Atlantis docked to the space station in the night with a little bit of the green aurora off to the side. And then I got a picture of Atlantis's plasma trail as it came in over the Yucatan headed toward its landing in Florida. And it's just fascinating. The more you look, the more you start to see the stars like you have never seen them before. I'd give a lot to see that view again.